We have breaking news. Sources tell ABC News former President Trump secretly plotted to be elected Speaker of the House in January while he was publicly supporting now former Speaker Kevin McCarthy's bid. Our chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl has the exclusive details in his new book, Tired of Winning, Donald Trump and the End of the Grand Old Party. And Jonathan joins me now with more on this. John, break this down for us. What are you hearing?
Well, this is a particularly incredible series of events that played out while Kevin McCarthy was trying to get the votes to become Speaker of the House back in January. As you remember, it went through days of voting, 15 rounds of balloting, and publicly Donald Trump had endorsed Kevin McCarthy for Speaker. But what I've learned is that when Trump saw Matt Gaetz step up on the 7th ballot back in January and vote for Donald Trump for Speaker, and then he saw all the cable networks, relay the vote count, and it was only a single vote for Trump. 212 votes for Hakeem Jeffries, 200 for Kevin McCarthy. Some others had a handful of votes, and then only one for Donald Trump. Trump became angry, and he actually reached out, contacted Gaetz, made his views known within a small circle of Republicans, that the only reason he only got one vote is that nobody bothered to nominate him, and so people didn't know they could vote for him. And at that point, he made it clear that he wanted Matt Gaetz to nominate him for Speaker of the House.
John, how realistic is it that Trump could actually be Speaker?
Well, first of all, it's a strange position. Speaker of the House is the only position in Congress where you don't actually have to be a member of Congress to serve. So technically, it's okay. Now, by the way, right now there's an added complication that under the current Republican rules, if you are indicted and could face jail time, you are ineligible to be Speaker. But of course, back in January, Donald Trump had not yet been indicted. But take a look at what happened. So after this is my exclusive reporting in the book that Trump himself had reached out to Gaetz. Here's what Gaetz actually did on the floor of the House.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida rise?
And so I rise to nominate Donald Trump for the position of Speaker of the House.
And then he went and he gave a whole speech about, Donald Trump made America great again. Now he can make the House great again. It was this whole speech. There was during the course of it, you heard kind of heckling from the Democratic side of the aisle. And when that speech was over, they called for the roll, and they once again did another round of voting. And once again, Donald Trump got a single vote for Speaker of the House, and that vote was from Matt Gaetz, who had just nominated him. Not very realistic in terms of the votes. Even a very pro-Trump group of people, like the Republicans in the House of Representatives, had absolutely no interest in him being Speaker of the House. Trump, as I report in the book, became even more livid after that happened and pushed Republicans to drop, the ones that were holding out on McCarthy, to drop their objections and to allow McCarthy to be elected Speaker of the House so that this would be ended and Trump would no longer be embarrassed. And that's what happened on the very next ballot. As you well remember, because we all watched it on television that night, actually January 6th of this year, Donald Trump was no longer in nomination, and Kevin McCarthy was elected Speaker of the House.
And John, here we are now. Kevin McCarthy is no longer Speaker of the House. The seat is vacant again. And again, Donald Trump's name is being floated here. How do you see this playing out?
Yeah, and you know who's floating it? It's Donald Trump. It's a really interesting turn of events. Trump has publicly endorsed Jim Jordan to be Speaker of the House. But even as he has endorsed Jim Jordan, what he has said is that he would be open to the possibility of serving as Speaker for a brief period of time to help out the Republicans, is the way he puts it. Now, this is, I am told, I've done some reporting on this as well, I'm told that this idea had been largely generated by Steve Bannon, of course, Trump's former chief strategist in the White House back in his first year as president. What Bannon has encouraged Trump to seek and for Republicans to support is the idea that Trump would be Speaker of the House for a period of 100 days. And that his final day before stepping down for somebody else to be elected would be January 20th of 2024, 1 year before the inauguration of the next president. Now, let me tell you, Diane, It's not going to happen. I mean, we just walked through what happened the last time Trump was floating the idea of being Speaker of the House. We didn't know that he was actually floating it, but it turns out he was. And he got a single vote. There is no way that Donald Trump would get a majority to be elected Speaker of the House. It just wouldn't happen, even if the Republicans changed their current rule, which makes anybody who is indicted of a felony ineligible for the position. Even if they change that rule, Trump's not going to get elected Speaker of the House.
All right, interesting. Chief Washington Correspondent Jonathan Karl. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Diane.
And John's book, Tired of Winning, Donald Trump and the End of the Grand Old Party, is in bookstores everywhere November 14th.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.